So today's tank is gonna be the T22 medium, and this tank I've already have a video of it on my channel. It's the most controversial tank that you can find in World of Tanks. The price for it at this point 15 million credits. On the EU server you're gonna find 15,000 items to bid for. The fact is that even if you do bid on it and win it, I'm not sure that it's necessarily the best tank since sliced pizza. So don't overbid on this one like I did a few years ago, because yeah, it's a tank which is worse than the Object 140, all the objects, all the medium Russian tanks. The gun is only good if you use bond equipment, otherwise just don't, because the dispersion during the movement is pretty crazy. Be advised that the tank is extremely fragile on top and over here below. If more than one enemy comes towards you, then you are gonna be killed pretty easily. So yeah, don't this is an okay tank to bid for, but I wouldn't spend more than 20 million credits on it. No way. The T22 medium, which is a tank that I've paid a lot of credits a few years ago when it was first introduced, I think, in the black market. This is one of the rarer tanks in the game, and it's also, I made another video at some point on it. It's the most controversial initial tank, because it was basically available through two means. The first one was some guys cheated to get the tank, or a lot of guys cheated to get the tank by doing some missions on a competitive setting. And the other one was when Wargaming sold this tank for a really large amount of credits. I think I paid over 40 million credits at some point, or even more. I don't really remember right now, but I know that some people actually paid even close to 100 million credits for this tank. Now the T22 medium is also a tank that won't really work unless you use some bond equipment, because this tank has been nerfed after the cheating allegations a lot. It has been really nerfed by Wargaming. At some point when it was first introduced, the tank was broken, completely broken. So the tank's specialty is the fact that you can side scrape and reverse side scrape with ease, and the armor profile makes it so that you won't really get shot unless people know how to in the side. Unless people use HE, that will nullify your armor. Other than that, APCR or AP is going to bounce most of the time. You might go through it with heat, but even then, if you angle the tank correctly, it's gonna be a bit harder to actually pen you. This tank also has some really good mobility, and it has a fairly good gun with the decent alpha damage, 320, which is the standard for the Russian tanks. Though the problem with it is that the gun stats, those have been hit the most. The problem with it is the fact that the dispersion is huge, the bloom is huge after each shot, and if you fire on the move with this tank without properly aiming, you're not going to do too well. So whenever you fight with this tank, you will need bond equipment. There's no question about it. This is the tank that will work good or well to compensate for that nerf. In order to compensate for the nerf, you'll need to use gold equipment. Bond equipment. So what I'm using on this one, I think it's vents, bond rammer, and also bond coated optics. Now the tank isn't really good on the turret armor from the front, so if you get shot at on your turret or overmatched with a really high caliber gun, like the one that Grille shot towards me, then the turret is like paper. Okay, so in order to pen this tank, you need to fire either on the lower plate of the tank, but be advised that you need to to make sure that the tank isn't really angled, or if it's angled you can shoot at one of its sides of the side from the front, right? You don't fire the side of the tank properly, and then you're gonna go through it most of the times. What the tank does have is a crazy rate of fire, the really decent punchy gun, and also the fact that it's really fast. So the mobility is good, the firepower is excellent, and then you'll be able to actually do some really good damage and also use the tank to side scrape pretty effectively. I also have, like I said, another video in which, although of a lower quality because I was just starting posting videos on YouTube, you're able to see over there the firepower of this tank a lot better than on this one. Or you can see over there the armor, sorry, of the tank a lot better. The tank does have really nice pen for standard rounds with excellent shell velocity. You have around I think 1500 if I'm not mistaken. So the tank does have 1500 shell velocity with standard rounds, and then you have 340 damage with hit, and also the hit penetration isn't bad. The tank does have some horrible stats while moving, and the gun dispersion isn't bad, but the problem is that on the move it goes like crazy. The aim time is also pretty good. So is the tank to be worth the asking price? Probably it's not worth over 20 million in either case, because I've contemplated a lot of times selling this tank because it drove me crazy at least at the beginning when I wasn't using the bond equipment. So yeah, that's what I've got today. Take care and see you in the next one. Bye now.